There we go. All right. Welcome to the Monday night Zoom call. It's the 18th of September, and we're going to do a few things over the next few weeks that I'm going to be sharing one of the, and we're still working on getting a guest master speaker here too, but I'm going to be sharing one of the networking tool chest videos each week and discussing it, and you can see what's there, because it's like we were talking about the groups last week and last couple of weeks, and you got to remember all these things are fishing holes. They're tools. Some people are doing the groups and having great success. Some people aren't. Some people are doing BNI and having great success with that. It's the thing is it's a consistency that you need, the consistency, and you need to see people over and over and over. And quite honestly, if you're going to build an organization, you've got to talk to people. It's just part of the game. And we're going to go over a few things, not tonight, but like sharing your stories, because everybody's got a unique story. And why did you get in Shackley? And I'm actually going to do my story on September 30th, because I haven't done it for a long time for people and stuff. And why Shackley is important, because when you get the why big enough, you'll find a reason to do it. But before I was listening on one of the business networks this morning, and they were talking about people starting small businesses. And this study just finished like yesterday, it came out. And over the last 3 years, 19% of adults in the United States have looked for starting their own business. That's 1 in 5 people are looking for or have started their own business, whether that be a franchise, an MLM, a hot dog stand, a food cart, or whatever. 1 in 5 people. And if I go back and I remember, and Frank, your mom and dad and my mom and dad, when people built really fast and built some big organizations, was the last time we were in a major depression. The late 70s, people really took off because people need a side income, side hustle. I don't like that term, but whatever it is, some people do, but they need a side income. And what we do is we don't only offer a great side income, we offer it with incredible products. And so that's what we got going for us. We don't have to come up with cooking hot dogs or whatever you want to do. And nothing against that. I mean, if they want to do that, it's fine. We got a great business opportunity. I think this is going to be kind of neat to share this tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share. This one's almost a whole sit. What did I do?
You hit the whole skin.
No, I didn't want to share that. I wanted to share.
I went to hit to allow the recording, and I shut myself off. That's why I was gone for a minute.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we got the screen sharing here. Now I'll show you what I've done that too before, Frank. I've gone to click on the or the box and closed everybody out instead of just closing out the chat box. So again, you don't have to be real technical to be able to build a business like this. But this is from Networking Tool Chest, and you can see all these different presentations that there are. We're going to go through a bunch of different ones over time, but the one we're going to go over tonight is a health worth finding, moving from sick care to well care. Now, this is kind of a neat system here. It's the video, but they've also got the satellite site, and we'll go over that. But I'm going to click on the handouts here and show you. Oh, maybe I got to log back in to get to the handouts. What did I do? You still seeing this?
Yep.
Okay. So I should be able to go down here and click on handout. Okay, here it is. If you scroll down here, see where I'm scrolling down, it says a health worth finding leaders pack on the left here. And I can download this leaders pack. I'm going to see if it'll let me open it. Can you see where it says a health worth finding leaders pack? Did that pop up on your screen?
Yes.
Okay, this comes with this stuff, and it's a total. I'm not going to go through all this thing, but this is the whole thing about our mission, who we are, the rallying cry, purpose-driven. This is like a 7. I would never give this to somebody. That's why it says It's a leaders pack. And it goes through on how to introduce this stuff, how to do stuff. And again, this is just another tool. I know Frank and I were talking today that about somebody that wants to build a business. Well, you got to go talk to people. You got to have a way to get in front of people. And so not only this here, this is kind of neat with this, but let me see if I can. Okay, did that click back to the general thing? Okay, you can see there's reward cards, there's certificate cards. Right here is the brochure. In the middle is the brochure. I don't know whether it'll pop up or not. I guess it's not popping up the brochure. But you can order those brochures. It's a trifold brochure. They've got it on a DVD if you want to order a DVD. The DVDs are like $6. Or I think they get cheaper. The first ones, it's expensive to get one. If you get a few of them, they're like $6. The brochures are like 55 cents. You can get the business cards and stuff. So I'm not saying go buy all this stuff at all. Don't take me wrong with this. It's just some stuff to look at as some options on what to do. But what I'm going to also do is I'm going to go back here. And I'm going to go to a health worth finding. And I'm going to copy this satellite site where it says satellite site. And I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to go back up here. And I'm going to put it in my URL. So you see a health worth finding. Click on that. And now you see where it popped up the new presentation. This is where I can send that email link or that link to a healthworthfinding.com, I think it is. And this will pop up. Now, if they want to watch it, they need to put in their name, and I'll put in my name. They actually don't have to put in their name. They don't have to put in their email where it says your email. That would be like if I was somebody sent this to me. The only thing they do have to put in is they have to put in, since this is mine, my email. So, I mean, if they really didn't want to, you want them to put that in, and I would never tell them not to, but that way you know who does it, because then when you click here to watch the presentation pops up. I just got a notice in my email that Jeff Boltinghouse is watching this video. And now we'll watch the video.
Welcome. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you an important question. Would you agree that when most people think about healthcare, their thoughts are focused around sick care, or to put it another way, disease management? The sad truth is, a very high percentage of us equate healthcare to sick care. The past 2 decades, advertising in every form of media has directed us either to an over-the-counter product or a prescription drug as a health solution. Rather than building better health, we're taught to mask the symptoms until we somehow get better. Over-the-counter drugs for pain relief rack up sales of more than $29 billion every year. The purpose of this presentation is to refocus our thinking from sick care to well care. We call it a health worth finding, and we'll show you how a simple adjustment in perspective can start you on a path to better health. The following scenario is repeated countless times daily. Perhaps you may identify with this. A patient sits anxiously in a small, rather sterile room, waiting for the door to open and hear the physician's report on their test results. The moment arrives. A rather somber-looking physician walks in, sits down, and the news is not what he or she wants to hear. At that moment, more often than not, feelings of helplessness, yes, even anger or denial rush in. How did this happen to me? When did this begin? Did some of my choices lead me to this moment? These are important questions, searching for answers. As important as they are, they point us to dig deeper and ask 3 essential questions. What is health? Does it have an origin? Can I live a health-directed life? The Merriam-Webster Dictionary definition of health is the condition of being sound in body, mind, or spirit, especially freedom from physical disease or pain. Simply put, health is the normal expression of your life force. This term, life force, may be new to you or maybe not. Life force is the energy that gives life to all of us and exists in all living things. It's critical in keeping health and life moving forward. It's part of the creative intelligence, not something created by man. It's nature's bridge from sick care to well care. It's a health worth finding. This being true, let's make it personal. What is our responsibility in supporting the expression of our life force? Our responsibility is to supply the needed elements with which to build and repair cell tissue. Ultimately, it's about building and maintaining healthy cells. A calculated increase in our understanding about the functions of the cell will be helpful here. There are over 200 cell types agreeing to act in harmony in the body. The cell takes in nourishment, throws off waste, makes its own structural repairs, and gives birth to a new cell. It's a living individual entity with its own unique, inherent, instinctive intelligence. No new cell can be produced without an enzyme. Without enzymes, life as we know it would not exist. There's so much more to talk about when it comes to the cell, but these are foundational. So whether it's life force, cells, or enzymes, we are observing the marvelous ways of nature. Let's for a moment reflect on our relationship to nature. Have we stopped listening when nature speaks? Have we forgotten, despite the world changing around us at warp speed, that nature doesn't change? Nature's laws always rule. Nature's ways cannot be ignored or pushed away. Yes, I stand back with you in amazement at the medical breakthroughs and the many benefits they make available to each of us on our health journey. However, science only makes provision for the body to do what only the body can do, and that is heal itself. That's nature's business. This being the case, the question bears repeating. Have we stopped listening when nature speaks? Let's look back at a powerful example. In the early 70s, there was a strong argument between the values of synthetic, that's man-made, versus natural, that's nature's way, regarding nutrients. The argument was that a laboratory-created vitamin was equal to a vitamin emanating from nature. Some experts even claimed they were identical. It was not long before the argument proved false. The differences were clearly displayed. The synergistic effect of nature's ingredients compared to the sterile integration of synthetic ingredients was obvious. Nature does something that man cannot duplicate. Let's quickly review. We've looked at 5 health truisms up to this point that can guide our thinking from sick care to well care, a health worth finding. Health is the expression of your life force. Each cell provides a dwelling place for your life force. Life force cannot be freely expressed through undernourished tissue cells. No new cell can be produced without an enzyme present. Nature does something that man cannot duplicate. This leads us to this important question. Can you always depend upon an intelligent expression of your life force? Yes, absolutely, as long as the cells are a fit place for your life force to dwell. If you provide the right material to build and repair cell tissue, and there is no interference on your part to destroy the patterns of normal activity, you can depend upon an intelligent expression of your life force. At the turn of the 20th century, a pioneer in the field of nutrition, Dr. Forrest Shackley, championed the importance of living in harmony with nature instead of interfering with her knowledge. Interference, what does that mean? About a century and a half ago, society entered into a place it had never been before, the beginning of the synthetic revolution, the production of man-made or synthetic chemicals. From mid to the late 20th century, it gained tremendous momentum, directly affecting our food chain. The nature of soil in which food is grown began to be altered. GMO, genetically modified organisms, became the buzzword in farming. Refined foods flooded the supermarket shelves with little or no nutritional value. Additives, preservatives, flavorings, colorings, emulsifiers, and so much more became part and parcel of our food chain. I compare this to a compass deciding that it will determine for itself where the magnetic pole is. This is a denial of the compass's true nature. The bottom line is our bodies are not designed to cope with synthetic chemicals as they take on the role of interference. I'm sure I'm not telling you something new, but here's something that might be new. These interferences have a direct negative impact on the cellular system. They manifest themselves in a multitude of ways, starting with symptoms, your body's early warning system. Oftentimes, this is linked to nutritional deficiency. Dr. D. Mark Hepstein, Harvard School of Public Health, clearly spoke into these interferences. The major cause of illness and death in the U.S. are related to what we eat. A quote from a recent Surgeon General echoed the same thought. There no longer can be any doubt about the link between diet and disease. Reflecting on these two quotes, the focus is nutritional deficiency at the cellular level. Perhaps no one said it more fervently than Dr. Emanuel Sharaskin, MD, DMD. This internationally renowned scientist was responsible for over 700 scientific studies in peer-reviewed journals. He regularly broke new ground within the nutrition and vitamin mineral supplementation fields. Let me quote him as he cut right to the chase. Man is a food-dependent creature. If you don't feed him, he will die. If you feed him improperly, part of him will die. Reflecting on these three insightful quotes, interference is nothing to be taken lightly. Wouldn't you agree? Here's the good news. The body fights fiercely to overcome these interferences. However, the responsibility is ours to supply live food, not food-like things. Certain elements are crucial to healthy metabolism, and these come from live food. If you fuel right, you will feel right. Exercise is important, but you can't out-exercise a bad diet. The irrefutable fact is we come up short on a daily basis to take in essential and sufficient nutrients our cells need. Supermarkets are making available more organically grown products, live food. But even here, we need to be wise, as sourcing is vitally important. Wouldn't you agree? The reality is, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that if we are to get the whole nutrition we need, we must supplement our diets. Based on what I have shared, would it not make good sense to choose food supplements whose source is live foods, organized and balanced in nature's laboratory, and driven by the subjectivity of the life force? There are two nationally published independent clinical studies that validate and support this thinking. The first is the landmark food supplement study. Officially, the study is named Usage Patterns, Health and Nutritional Status of Long-Term Multiple Dietary Supplement Users, a cross-sectional study. It was directed by Gladys Block, Ph.D., a renowned nutrition researcher and professor of epidemiology and public nutrition in collaboration with the University of California, Berkeley School of Public Health. It was published on October 24, 2007 in Nutrition Journal, a prestigious online peer-reviewed international scientific journal. This was the first of its kind and the largest long-term broad cross-sectional supplement study conducted in history. Dr. Gladys Block and her team randomly selected 300 from more than 1,000 people who had been using premium quality food supplements for at least 20 years. Their health was assessed through questionnaires, a physical examination, and blood tests. A comparison was drawn with people who had supplemented for at least 20 years with other brands of multivitamins and also with people who had not supplemented at all for at least 20 years. The conclusions drawn and published were under the total control of Dr. Block from its inception. The first and most obvious point is the group taking the premium food supplements scored better on virtually every marker in the study, be it disease-related, nutrient-related, or general health-related. The results of this study also clearly demonstrated that people who used these food supplements had better medical biomarkers in every category. Yes, I said every category, and markedly better health than those who used other supplements or no supplements. The products that produced these remarkable results were actually manufactured by a company founded by one of those early pioneers we mentioned earlier, Dr. Forrest Shackley. He founded the company Shackley Products back in 1956 to produce products that were backed by science but contained everything nature could provide. From then to now, Shackley continues to produce and provide cutting-edge nutritional food supplements that harness the power of nature. This has led them to be recognized and positioned at the top of their class in the U.S. and Canada. Let me highlight just 6 findings that should be of great interest to you. Shackley food supplement users rate their health better, take little or no medicine, have better cardiovascular health, significantly lower blood pressure scores than either of the other 2 groups, maintain good metabolic health, have lower levels of C-reactive protein, a measure of systemic inflammation, predictive of future cardio disease risk. Look at diabetes example. Shackley users had 2.9 cases of diabetes per 100 people, whereas single multivitamin users had 11.1 cases of diabetes per 100 people. That's huge. The second study is as powerful and thought-provoking as the landmark study. The telomere study, a 10-year study directed by Nobel Prize winner Elizabeth Blackburn, Ph.D., and Eliza Epel, Ph.D., focused on telomeres and how they are related to human behavior and health. Telomeres are the caps that protect the end of chromosomes, as indicated by the circle. As we age, telomeres grow shorter and shorter, preventing cells from being able to replenish tissue, which is so necessary to help live a long, healthy life. Very short telomeres are associated with physiological changes in the body that increase risks of the major conditions and diseases of aging. Here's one key takeaway. Shackley food supplement users' telomeres lengths were 11% longer than that of the healthy control group. The idea here is keeping telomeres from shortening may help you live a longer, healthier life. This epic study was captured and published in book form called The Telomere Effect and became a New York Times bestseller. Nobel laureate and author Eric Kandel describes The Telomere Effect as a classic, one of the most exciting health books to emerge in the last decade. Based on these 2 studies, the landmark study and the telomere study, both demonstrate the Shackley population is remarkably healthier than the general population. Would it be fair to say they are also experiencing a better level of well-care? Let me make it personal. Would you like to feel better? You see, all nature needs is an opportunity, and the body will repair and regenerate itself. Users of premium food supplements based on nature, like Shackley's, enjoy the benefits of the expression of their life force. I'd like to conclude with an invite and a challenge. First and foremost, I invite you to take ownership of your personal health by choosing to invest in proven nutritional food supplements. Shackley food supplements certainly meet that criteria. Secondly, inspire others to take ownership of their personal health by inviting them to listen to this message. Here's the challenge. We are on mission to change the face of healthcare from sick care to well care, a health worth finding. If this mission excites you and aligns with your thinking, please join with us in this just cause by constantly enhancing lives. Contact the person who shared this presentation with you. He or she is available and ready to join with you on the path to a health worth finding. In closing, I am thankful for Dr. Forrest C. Shackley, a visionary pioneer in the field of nutrition, a man intertwined with nature. He inspired generations to better understand and embrace nature's secrets, and whose insights are embedded in this presentation. I believe it is fitting to close with a quote from Dr. Shackley that defines his life's message. All I ever did was listen to nature and pass the word along. Thank you for viewing this presentation. My name is Bill Firth.
Oop,
Was
I gotta get this thing turned off just a second. I'm working on it. Okay. I was hearing the video was still playing in my background here. So yeah, it was Bill Firth. Hey, Frank sent me a message. He says, well, that's not Don Sykes. And I said, no, it's not. I said, I think it's Bill Firth. And it was. Bill has been around from day one of Shackley, I think. Basically, he's a senior master coordinator. His relation actually worked for Shackley Corporation back in the 50s and told Jimmy, you need to get involved with this company. And so I believe Bill is actually sponsored directly to the company. I'm not sure about that, but he's the one that helped do the study with the water where they introduced the non-phosphates, and Bill's got a neat story. So you know, check him out sometime. But anyway, I think right there, that alone, you could build a business using that video alone. If you listened to people and gave it to enough people, whether it be on DVD or just sharing it. I don't know what, I think that's one of the better ones. That's also not one that I would just send to anybody. I would, you know, be very careful who I send it to. It's 17 minutes long. You know, they got to be, but if somebody's really seriously, and you talk to them and ask them questions, if they're seriously interested in their health and taking care of their health and their future, then they're going to be interested in watching it. You know, and if you do it with the videos, I would definitely put a time limit on the DVDs and get them back. I'm just going to send, if you're a member, I think it's $20. Let me share the screen again here, and let me, hold on, I got to shrink this a second because I'm not smart enough to do this all at once. All right, now let me try to share the screen again. Okay, so if you're interested in it, you go to networkingtoolchest.com, and then this will where it comes. You just click on join if you want to join them. And this you can see some of what's going on until you join. But if you click join us, and then it'll come over to here, and it'll tell you a little bit about it. It'll show you some of the tools that there are. And I can't remember, I think it's like $20 a month or $150 a year or $160 a year, something like that. But anyway, it's networking tool chest. If you're not going to use it, obviously don't subscribe to it. But if you're going to use it, $20 a month is a pretty cheap working tool. And if you send out one video a day, 5 days a week, and you follow it up with them, it's going to cost you $1 a day to send the videos out and follow that, you know. So, and if you get 1 or 2 leads, it's as much as we like, I'm kind of preaching on this now, but as much as we don't, you know, we're not in sales. I hate it when people say I sell Shackley. I don't sell Shackley. I create organizations and develop groups. If you're into sell, and that's nothing wrong with if you want to sell Shackley, but it limits the size of your group. If you build organizations and help people develop organizations, you're limitless. I can't remember, there's the old quote, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people than 100% of myself. And that's what we're all about, is the more people we help, the better off we are. So Frank, do you want to say anything about this? I'm kind of rattling on. That was a longer video tonight, so I don't know how much time we got to discuss, but what do you think?
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally agree with you. I mean, I think the thing is we make this too complicated some of the time. You know, it's our business is all about asking questions and solving problems. You know, I mean, it is sales. I mean, you know, people are going to buy the product, but they're going to buy the product because it does something for them. You know, it's either going to improve their health, which it should improve everybody's health, you know, in general, but a lot of people don't buy into that at first because they think, oh well, you know, everybody says that, or everybody's products do that. And, so sometime you just got to ease into stuff. I mean, I was at a luncheon last Friday with a bunch of guys that I went to college with that normally we're not talking business or anything else, but the guy sitting next to is a real wise guy, but he's had some health issues. And, he told me right up front, he's dealing with some neuropathy and stuff. And I said, "Oh, are you diabetic?" "No, I'm not diabetic." I said, "Oh, okay." And so we started a conversation. I said, "Not everybody that has neuropathy is diabetic. My wife, she has some because of this, this injury." And then I just said, I said, "There's a lot of guys in my business, Shackley business, and he knows I'm in Shack. He knows that I do Shackley as well as insurance." And I said, "There's a lot of people that know a lot more technical stuff than I do, but I know that it works, and I know where to find, answers to things." And so we started a little conversation, and he was very well, he said, "Send me some information." And and I know he's got, I know he has money to buy it if he wants to buy. Everybody has money to buy stuff if they want to buy, if they feel it's going to be of value to them. And then we can always get into the thing about if they really can't afford it, then if they share it with some people, then we can show them a way to afford it through the business side. So, but just don't get so hung up on trying to go after him. I mean, Rich has done well. Obviously the book that he went out and found and's been using. The questions are the answers. I mean, that's yeah. There you go. That's what it's that's what it's all about. Start asking people some questions, and then see where it leads you to. But I mean, that'll be a sale. And one of the other guys that was in the handful, the six of us that were there, he was a guy he's in my organization. He was a director at one time. He's not currently a director, but he does about 1,000 PV a month. And I don't care whether the guy buys from me or from him. And I told him, I said, you probably know him better than I do. I said, if you want to talk to him, talk to him. If not, I will, so, but one way or the other, we're going to get the guy buying some products, but it's not so much about him buying products. It's about doing something to help the guy's health and help him feel better. And I have, and I've had other people that have used in particular the Vivix and so forth to do some amazing things that, and one of them was the guy's a Vietnam vet that was ready to, as he told me, shoot his feet off, and with a few products. And I didn't say it, and I sure didn't say it cured him. I didn't say that to this guy. So I'm not saying it's going to cure or fix anything, but, if he felt a whole lot better, would it be worth it? And he goes, yeah. So anyway, that's just, and I'm not looking to sell a kit. My thing is, but if I can find a way that he can get involved and buy and use a number of products, because I know there's a number of products he needs. Protein, the basics, protein, Vitally or whatever, or Vitalizer, and then. But I found, like, from talking to Jeff Henderson, because he's a diabetic, and he was the one that helped me a lot on, specific things then of getting into what else should they use. And he's like, lots of lecithin, lots of B, lots of, use the Vivix. And so you just throw those things out to people, and then hopefully from there that leads into something. And if they do well, then they know other people. Most of those people too know somebody else that has those same problems. So
Very
then
good. Yep, it's all about asking questions. That's what it's all about. And those of you, when you said Jeff Henderson, those of you know Dan's Frank's Upline, follow Dan on Facebook. He posted something today, and I love his posts. He usually posts one or two things a day, maybe once a day. This one just was, tell me quick, tell me true, what's your product gonna do, or else, my love, to heck with you. Basically, don't give them a whole smorgasbord of everything. Tell them your story. What's your product going to do? That's after you've asked them the questions, but it's just kind of straight to the point. You don't need to get all the fluffy stuff. What's your product going to do? And people know whether you believe in it or not. That's the whole point of why you need to Shackley-ize your home. I've never yet found anybody ever build a business in any company that they didn't use their own product. Every single person that's been successful in any company uses their product and believes in their product. And our products happen to work really, really well. And we got the proof. So anyway, anybody got else anything before we wrap it up here? But I think we're going to do this weekly anyway. Networkingtoolchest.com if you're interested in joining it. If you want to watch that one again, get a hold of me. I can send you the link to it. I don't exactly remember what the link was exactly, just to punch in my email address. So don't give it out to everybody and tell them to punch in my email address, because I'll get your leads. So yeah, but if you want to watch it again, go ahead and do it. Let me know. So all right, everybody. I'm going to do this over the next few times until we can get the person lined up for our next master speaker.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff, is it Don? Is Don Sykes? I can't remember who runs the networking.
Don
toolshed.
does. Don does. Don
Okay.
Don runs both that one and MC Mentors.
Okay, because I got a phone number for Don if anybody wants.
Yeah, Don's on vacation right now, but
Oh, yes. Okay,
yeah.
well, never mind. We'll give it next
Anyway.
week.
all right. Sounds good, everybody. Have a great week.